Hello. Uh, in this video, we'll go over creating a lookup formula using the indirect function in Excel. Now, let's assume that our company has several cash accounts and the net balances in each of these accounts get swept to another cash account every day. And we'll create an entry or entries to reflect those transactions. And to get the summary of these uh, cash totals, let's say we receive a pivot table every month. And let's create a um, replica of pivot table. Let's say we have some cash accounts, and I don't use the account, but I'll use, let's say we have descriptions of cash account 1. Let's say we have 30 accounts. So these would be the columns, and for rows we get dates for the past calendar month. So let's say this is for July. And let's assume the amounts are between it's between negative 10,000 and positive 100,000. Let's say we generally have more positive net transaction there. That or blank. Okay, let's say this is our pivot table that we receive every month, and we have to, and these amounts get, let's say they get swept to another cash account every day, and we'll have to create the journal entry or entries to reflect that in our general ledger. Let's call this sheet the pivot. Well, actually, let's create another one. Let's call this July pivot. Or we can just rename this pivot. we'll come back to this a bit and we can hard code this. And we'll create another sheet with journal entry template. And this would have our GL accounts for these cash accounts. Let's say they have the same description. And we'll have date here. So for each day, we'll have to go through each account. So this will be, let's say this is only for July 1st. And we'll do the same for July 2nd. Let's see. Now we need to get the total for cash account 1 for July 1st. And to do that, so that would be the value in here, which is blank. So for the first 30 rows, we'll have to get all the transaction for July 1st. So we'll have to get all these amounts, right, in here. So that would be full amount 660. All right, but you know, we can't copy paste that. And that's what we need to look up formula for. We could do index, right? Index second row match. And well, let's lock this and also lock this. So if we scroll this, we get the same stuff. Now for the second day, we're getting the same amounts because this we locked this. We should. So this would be row number 3. And also we have to lock this. So 611907. But I don't want to do that either because once I copy it, I'm having to update the row number, which is not helpful. So this is where we need the indirect, not indirect function, but we'll use not index but SUMIF. Let's use SUMIF. SUMIF range criteria sum range. So range criteria sum range. Again, let's lock this and lock this. And criteria would be this, right? Guess that doesn't work. And if I drag this, again, I'll have to correct the sum range, which would be 3 here. So now, let's see. Instead of having to change these rows manually, I want a helper cell, a helper column. Let's say we have a column where it looks up the row number for us. So we can do that by using the match function. Match this date in column A. This is 2. Well, this is row 2, and this is where row 3 starts. And this is where we have to use indirect. Instead of just spelling it out here, I'll have to insert this number, this value, into this formula here. So that's where we have to use indirect. So let's copy this. We'll have to replicate this value. So this text. So it would be indirect apostrophe, I think, or let's spell out the whole text. July pivot $. I can't type the rest. The rest should be dynamic. So close the quotation marks. And instead of typing number 2, we'll use the value in G column. So this would be, let's say this is for this cell, so this would be G2. G2, and again, we need some text here, another $. And another G2, another number 2. And close parentheses. Let's see if this works. So instead of putting this, having this here, we'll replace this whole text with our indirect text. G2, well, that doesn't work. Indirect. See if this works. So this is looking at G2. So looking at G3. Right, this appears to be working. And let's go to July 2nd. Again, this appears to be working, so this is good. So we have great balance here. Let's say, let's do this. We'll do debits and credits here. I think some environments allow to put all numbers in the same column. Positives will go in as debit, negatives will go in as credit. But let's separate them here. And let's say we need to, we need to credit the positive numbers and debit the negative numbers. So we'll add an if statement. If this is greater than 0, then keep it here. Where was this? Oh. So if true, false. So if this is greater than 0, no, less than 0. Okay, keep it here. Otherwise, we'll put blank. And we'll do the same thing with the opposite direction. Change this. Is that right? Yep, I think. We'll find out. So all these numbers will be a credit most likely. Let's keep going. All right, now let's add an offset here actually. Let's call this account a cash sweep. And it'll be offset to the net balance, so this is all credit. Let's do this. Is this right? Do the same. The opposite direction. Since we're separating them to debits and credits, we'll have to make it all a positive number. So let's do ABS. Let's go ahead and add a round also. If we have decimals. Round to ABS, right? See if this works. Looks like it does, and let's copy this whole thing. So this would be so we'll have to copy this down 31 times to get all the days. I don't need this now. So this looks good, but it's not all good. This is looking up all the transactions for July. So what is this? 741, July 4th. That what we're getting? Okay. But it looks good, but it's not good. It's not helpful at all for us, because what happens, this works for July, but next month I get another pivot. For August. Let's call this August pivot. And next month, in order for this to work, I have to replace this text all with to point to August, which is too much work. And that's not the whole our goal. Our goal is to look up these amounts from any tab that I want without having to change the formula here. In order to do that, let's add a tab name here. July pivot. And instead of spelling out the tab name here, we'll make it look at the value in this K1 cell. This should be the driver of which tab this amounts come from. And we'll try to do that now. So let's see. In here, we'll have to replace this with value in K1. How do we do this? Let's do this. I'll have to replace all this in here. And let's try to replicate that. So indirect again, apostrophe, and K1, and let's go ahead and lock this. K1 and another apostrophe, quotation, dollar. I wonder if this works. And close quotation, is that right? Let's see if this works. Let's select a cell that has a value. So this is Instead of this, let's try it here. Indirect. Indirect all the way to $, I think. See if this works. Yeah, it works. What do you know? So now we have to do this for other parts of this formula. Let's see if that works. So this is indirect, and I have to also replace this with indirect. So that's looking at row 1. It's the same. Instead of this, we'll have all the way to $, I think. This one doesn't change. The row 1 doesn't change, so we can write another one here. Instead of just ending it at $, let's go ahead and include these ones as well, because that doesn't change. So this is, now let's see if this works. No error. I guess it works. And we don't have to change this tab name because it's always here. We don't have to mess with that. We will only have to change the tab names with the indirect function for the pivot tabs. So let's do the same for these. Actually, round. Where does this end? This is green. Let's see if this works. We'll see if this works. If no error, that's good. We forgot. We have to replace this portion. Oh, here. What are we doing here? So this one, drag it up, and we'll do. Let's copy it and change this direction here. See if this works. Yeah, looks like it works. Let's copy the whole thing. July 2nd, 3rd, 4th. Now, it should work. So, like I said, next month, let's save this. We have the August pivot. We have to change the dates. So next month, let's create an entry for July, right? And this will be named, I'll tell it to look at August pivot tab. I wonder. Right. The reason it's working, it shouldn't be working because in August we have August dates. In here we have July dates, so this is saying this is the activity for July 1st, which is incorrect. The reason it works is it's just using this helper column to look at the row number in this tab. It's not looking up the dates. So we'll have to add the indirect item in the row column as well. I mean, helper column as well, so that whatever tab name this is also looking at that tab, because currently it's looking at July, which is not right. So let's replace this. AA, this doesn't change, so we can lock it. I shouldn't have deleted that. That's, what was this? So indirect K1 all the way to $sign. Do we need the $sign? We may not need the $sign, but we'll find out. Actually, A doesn't change, so let's go ahead and use this one. This is simpler. Instead of this, go ahead and replace this. Yes. So now we get an error because this is trying to look up July 1st in August tab, and there's no July 1st here, which is good. This should be an error. So if I do this, this should work. Why doesn't it work? Actually, I think the formula is incorrect. Good thing we checked. So indirect, this is wrong. I have too much here. K1, oh that's right, K1, K1, that's correct. Let's get this text. So we have, let's see, hey, let's one of these. Hope this works. So indirect, too much here. This is what I'm trying to replicate. Indirect K1, AA. I don't think we need $signs. Does that work? Looks like that works. So now, let's write this down. So if we do August now, we should get an error. And we do, because there's no July 1st value in August tab. So the next month, when we get the August statement, all we have to do, we do have to change these dates because our entry is going to have August dates. So we'll have to change these to August 1st, August dates. Let's see, we should have done this. So now it should all be good. Should be good to go now. So what we can do, let's add a date here. So whatever this tab, whatever month this tab points to, we have to change this date every month. And we can do this. So now this is good to go. Any month in the future we get a pivot summary, we can easily create a journal entry without spending too much time. I mean, we did spend some time setting this up, but next month it won't take much time at all. So let's say we get September statement. What did I do? Did I copy this? And these are September items. So this is too much for September. And let's rename this September. And when we get this statement, all we have to do is change the tab name here and update the date here. And our entry is ready. Let's add a check here. And this cell should always remain true, otherwise we have an error somewhere. And this is it. This is how our lookup formula works using the indirect function. So going forward, like I said, once this set up, creating this entry for the whole month won't take very long. It'll only take a few minutes. Let's go ahead and complete this. Drag this down for all dates. Well, that doesn't work. There. Why are these errors? I wonder. Let's add one more. Sometimes we have 31 days. This will be error for shorter months, but it's okay. This will be complete for August. So this is it. Anytime we get a pivot like this, and we'll have to create a journal, it won't take very long to set it up. So this should be true for August. And August. All right, this is it. This is good. So now it's really working. This is what we needed. And we can abbreviate this to exclude empty rows. To do that, let's add another column. I'll delete. So what we can do once this is complete, we can copy this. Let's call this account. Copy this to another sheet. And delete the blank rows. So we're not uploading too many rows. There we go. All right, this is it. This entry then should be ready for upload. You could post an entry for a separate entry for each day. They should all balance, or you can just post it all in one day. All debits and credits in one entry. This would be this would create one entry, whichever you prefer, but mainly this lookup formula does all we need for this task. And that's it. And thank you for watching. Have a good day. Thank you.